Hi, everybody, and welcome to Transformational Tuesday, and Happy New Year. It's 2017, and I'm so excited to have all of you here with me. I have been, like everybody else, I've been busy with the holidays and, all kinds of events and seeing all kinds of people, and I'm sure you have done the same thing. And Transformational Tuesdays is a way for me to give back some of what I've learned on my own transformational journey. It's conversation, inspiration, education, conversation, and some motivation in order to be able to change your life through the process of transformation. And we hope that there is at least one thing that you want to change in 2017. When I put this call together for today, when I put the information together down on paper, as I always do when I am putting my show together, I thought about somebody somewhere along the line in the last couple of weeks. We were having a conversation about the movie City Slickers. Anybody remember that with Billy Crystal? And I forget what the guy's name that played Curly, but Billy was really down and out about his work and his life. He wasn't happy at home. He wasn't happy at work. He was generally not happy, and he wanted to change something and didn't know exactly what it was. So he went on this adventure with his best friend, and they went out to a ranch, a cattle ranch, and they were moving cattle across the country, or from one city to another. It's been a long time since I mentioned it, but I remember the one thing that I'm going to bring to this conversation that Curly said to him. In order to get his smile back, he had to find the one thing that made him happy, the one thing that he needed to change in his life. And before I put this together, when I came up with this, I didn't realize that there's actually a book out there called The One Thing. I did not write it. It is available on Amazon. I'll put it in the resource room because it is the resource page, because it's absolutely in alignment with what I put together for today. And I just want to let you know that it says you want less and you want more. Now you can have both, less and more, less distractions, less stress, less emails. You get a barrage of emails. We're going to talk about a bunch of things that are going to be able to apply to whatever your one thing is. So for anyone who knows me, I have this ability to take words and make them into acronyms and have them mean something. So if you want to put down on a piece of paper, if you're taking notes, write the words one thing down. And so we're going to be talking about this during our conversation today. So what is the one thing that you want to transform in 2017? Can you pinpoint just one? If you're like me, you probably have a list of stuff that you want to change, things that you want to do, people that you want to see, places that you want to go. You've made resolutions. You maybe have gotten a few revelations, as Karen Mayfield said last week when we were on the call, and we were talking about slowing down to speed up. Last week, well, actually, it was actually a couple of weeks ago, because now we are in 2007. That was the last call of 2016. We're in 2017 now. So she suggested that we come up with a few revelations, like what is it that we learned about ourselves? What is it that we can take with us from our experience? And I encouraged everybody, if you recall this conversation, to make a list of things that you actually did accomplish and give yourself credit and give yourself a pat on the back for that. Look at what you did do rather than what you didn't do. And as you come into this conversation with me today about one thing, what is the one thing that made it to that list that you did well, yet you would like to maybe do more? Or maybe it's something that kept popping into your head. Oh, because I know myself, the judge that lives in your head, that's it. I always say shoot the judge. So if I'm ever talking to you on the phone and I say shoot the judge, just get rid of the committee that lives in your head that tells you you have to be perfect, you've got to do everything just so, or that you're not enough, or whatever the case may be. So there's always that one thing running around in your head, like, I really wish I did this. I really wish I did this better. I really wish I did that better. What is that one thing that haunts you, not just from last year, but was the first thing that you put on your list of things that you wanted to make a resolution about? And just write that down at the top of your paper. All right, so here's what we're going to talk about. the word one and the word thing. Now, every single one of those letters is going to stand for something that we're going to talk about today. So the letter O on the name, on the word one, is going to stand for what opportunity or what objective do you want to accomplish this year? Is there an opportunity that has been sitting before you that you didn't take? Or is there something that is there a specific objective that you want to achieve? Is there, the opportunity thing, I often say, like, there's this, the Asian symbol for obstacle and opportunity are exactly the same. It's a matter of how you look at how you perceive the symbols. So are you going to look at what's before you as an opportunity, or are you going to look at all the obstacles to get where it is that you want to go? I encourage you to look at the opportunity and look at it objectively from a standpoint of, take a look back. What is it that you need to do in order to be able to achieve this? Are you making a list of the action steps that you need to take in order to be able to achieve that goal, your objective, or to step into an opportunity? Are there things that need to change? Last time we were together, I also used pottery as an illustration for transformation, and I went through all the different steps. Prepare, get yourself centered, be open to new opportunities and the things that you need to change. Then it's to mold and shape whatever it is that is before you. So what does this opportunity look like? Can you picture what it's going to be, or what you are objectively wanting to change? Take a step back. Again, I'm going to say it. Take a step back from whatever it is and prepare yourself a list of action steps that you feel you need to take. Or maybe there are people that you have to involve. Make your list. Break it down, chunk it down. Just like any goal in your life, if you don't chunk it down to daily things, and people know about the SMARTY goals, how they have to be, things have to be achievable, and things have to be things. I don't have the SMARTY thing in front of me, but it just came up. It just came up just now, so I'm going to say it anyway. So look up on the internet, SMART goals. And the Y on the end, SMARTY goals, means it has to be your goal, your goal. The Y at the end stands for you. So I'll get that for you, and I'll put it in the follow-up that's going to come out after this call is over. So the O in one is your opportunity. Look at it objectively, or if you have a particular objective that you need to achieve this year, that's what the O stands for. And then the next letter, N, is it going to make a notable difference in your life? What is it? Is it something that you are going to change about where you live, maybe? Maybe it's how you look. Maybe it's getting healthy. Maybe it's changing a job. Maybe it is, it could be a number of things. But whatever it is that you choose, is it going to make a notable difference in your life? And what does that difference look like? What does that difference look like to you? And then it comes the E. Is it going to make you exponentially better at what you do or who you are? What's the one thing that is going to have you at the end of, when you've achieved that one thing, or when you have come to a place of feeling satisfied that you have met an objective, is it going to make your life or your work exponentially better? Now let's go on to the word thing. Now the letter T always stands for transformation. You know that. We're on Transformational Tuesdays. But it also stands for time management as well. How are you managing your time in order to be able to make that transformation in your life? Are you allowing time for yourself? Is there that space? And if you recall the last conversation we had, I encouraged you to always celebrate whatever your little achievements were. At the end of the day, one of the things that I would love for you to do is to list at least 3 accomplishments through your day. Stuff that you have done that brings you closer to whatever your objective is, or closer to the opportunity to do things differently. So 3 things that you have accomplished. that day. And don't forget, when you start your day, and also when you end your day, start and end with gratitude, because a grateful heart and a grateful attitude makes life more abundant. So, and you hear me say that all the time. I throw that in because I want you to remember to write down what you're grateful for. At least 3 things, people, places, things that you're grateful for in your life, and it will keep you in the mindset of abundance rather than lack. It acknowledges everything that you have and gives, and basically you're telling God or the universe, hey, this is really cool, let me have some more. So it's a great way to start your day. It's the way I start my day, writing down things I'm grateful for, and then before I go to sleep at night, I do the same thing. So, and then add 3 things you've accomplished so that you can physically see on the paper your transformational steps that you're taking and how you're managing your time. The H stands for honesty. No matter what you do, be honest. Be honest with yourself. Be honest with those around you. If it means that you are involving other people in this, be honest with your clients. Excuse me. And the honesty factor is huge, because people do business with those they know, like, and trust. And if you're not honest with people, how are they going to trust you? You know, the honesty thing is key, and I don't have to belabor it. You know who you are. You know whether or not you're living your life in a place of honesty, and your clients know that, or the people that are around you, or anyone who is involved with this one thing that you're going to change. Now, that's not to say, let's go back here for a second, that's not to say that you can't do more than one resolution. Resolutions, by the way, here's a fact. And I got this 3 times in the last 24 hours. Only 8% of people who set New Year's resolutions actually complete them. So my hope and my objective in bringing this one thing conversation to you is that you are at least one of the 8% that you can, in fact, achieve whatever your objective is, or get involved in whatever the opportunity is, the one thing that you have decided. So resolutions, there's something to be said for not setting them. And that's when Karen Mayfield came on last time, and she was talking about revelations, like what aha moments have you had through the last year, and how can you use that information to make this year even better? So if you think about it from that standpoint, you have a better shot at staying in alignment with what you have actually put as an objective or an opportunity for you to achieve. So keep that in mind, and the honesty factor is huge there. Okay, so I'm somebody who says, for the most part, and if I say I'm going to do something, I follow through. Am I 100% on point with that? There are things that have involved me personally where I have in the past put myself last. So I don't necessarily do what I say I'm going to do with myself, but that is reflected in how I feel. But when I and I'm not making light of that at all, because one of my objectives this year is to be honest not only with other people, but be honest with myself in terms of what I say I'm going to do for myself and by myself, that I do for myself, and I don't let everybody else get in the way of it. How many people know that 2-letter word, no? No. I have a hard time comprehending that word. I tend to do a lot of things for a lot of people in a lot of different ways, on a lot of different platforms, and I'm usually the one that is at the bottom of the barrel. And you've heard me say this before. I'm going to say it again. Keep yourself honest. Fill up your cup on a daily basis. Do something good for yourself every single day. Even if it's to take 15 minutes to have a cup of tea and just sit and breathe and not do anything during the day. Do something that's going to replenish you and celebrate that moment. By doing something good do something good for yourself again. There's no limit on how many good things you can do for yourself throughout the day. There's no limit. So and be honest with yourself. So transformation thing is your transformation and manage your time management, be honest. Now the I stands for intuition and integrity. And the integrity piece goes with the honesty. Be in integrity with yourself, be in integrity with other people, and follow your gut, your intuition. How many of you have done something in your life and had that little nudge that says, maybe I shouldn't do this? That's your intuition speaking. Yeah, me too. All of us, right? That's your intuition speaking. I call them the whispers, little whispers, which I have come to recognize as the voice of God. And you'll hear me mention God. For those of you who are new, I know there's a lot of new people on this call. You'll hear me mention God during our conversations. Please translate that in whatever works for you, whether it's the universe, whatever you call a higher being that kind of you lean on in order to be able to live your life in a spiritual manner, as well as all of these other things that we're talking about, physically, emotionally, relationally, financially. You've got to have the spiritual piece in there, I believe. Whatever that looks like for you, please translate it. So intuition, my intuition is that little whisper that I hear in my heart that I've come to know for myself as the voice of God. So if you're on the right path, you'll feel like you're getting acknowledgement. If you're on the wrong path, you'll know it. And trust me when I tell you, life is a lot easier when you listen to those whispers rather than ignoring them. Somehow, if you ignore them, they take on a life, the things that go on in your life take on a life of their own. There was a situation in my life where I should have said no. I said yes. And it went crazy. And you can read about what I'm talking about in the book Purpose Shakers that I was just in. If you haven't gotten your copy, go ahead and get it. PurposeShakersTheBook.com. Or you can go on to Amazon and pick it up. And C. Denise Richardson compiled that together. I'm one of 7 women. I have 3 stories in there. So one of them is about listening to the whispers. So if you have trouble identifying your intuition, get still. Whatever it is that's going on that you need an answer to, bring the question into your mind and then be still and breathe into the question. The answer will come to you. I promise you. It might not happen right away. This is something that, a meditation practice can help you to become more what's the word I'm looking for? More attuned to your intuition. And integrity, I don't think I have to go through a big thing about integrity. If it's in alignment, integrity and alignment are interchangeable words. If it's in alignment with who you are, then, go ahead and go forward. If you've got that little, again, it goes back to the intuition. They go together. They go hand in hand. Intuition and integrity, they sit together on the shelf as far as I'm concerned. So you have transformation, honesty, intuition and integrity. Nourishing. This speaks to what I just talked about. Nourish yourself, body, mind, and soul. Read things that are positive. Stay out of the negativity conversations. Be sure that you take care of your body to the best of your ability. It's the one vessel that we have in order to be able to travel this path called life. And I'm saying that out loud because I need to hear that. My objective for this year is to really get myself healthy. I've been carrying around a lot extra weight. I have had issues with my knees and my back, and although I have taken some steps in order to be able to resolve those, it's like a threefold thing: body, mind, and spirit. You have to have all of them together in order for these sort of things to work. To nourish yourself, to nourish who you are on every aspect, in every aspect of your life. So nourishing, eating the right foods, reading the right materials, spending the time in gratitude. These are all factors and ways that you can nourish yourself. Align yourself and spend time with people who are of the same mindset as you. And if you feel like you need to change your mindset, get a coach. If you need a coach, let me know. There's plenty of people besides myself who can help you in that area. But you need to, my opinion is that we need to individually nourish who we are, body, mind, and spirit. And then the G stands for step into your greatness and honor your growth. And I think that, you know, taking baby steps will cause you to have giant leaps in your areas of change that you want to have. And I'm going to open the lines in a minute. I want to talk to you about some of the things that you want to make a change. What's the one thing in your life? But remember that you already are great. And a lot of people don't acknowledge themselves as being great. And I have this thing on my board, and I refer to it quite often on my whiteboard in my office. Every day I read this and I say this: I am fabulous, blessed, highly favored, living in my greatness with passion and purpose, using my gifts and talents, and all of God's great universe is conspiring in my favor. So step into your greatness, whatever that is. And remember, whatever gifts and talents that you have, they are part of your greatness. We come here equipped with everything that we need in order to be able to get through this path we call life in a way that we are going to not only transform our lives, but transform the lives of others and make a difference. So I'll go real quickly through this one more time. One thing, if you joined me late, write the words one thing down on a piece of paper, and this is what the letters stand for. O is opportunity and objectivity. Be objective about whatever opportunity or whatever or know what objective it is that you want to achieve. N stands for make a notable difference. Exponentially, make yourself exponentially better, in whatever area your one thing pertains to. And the word thing is transformation, honesty, intuition, and integrity, nourishing, body, mind, and soul, and then greatness and growth. So, so part of the reason why I'm doing this way is not only to take you out of this space of overwhelm, because if anybody's like me, I had a list of I don't know how many things. I stopped writing, I tore it up. Like, what's the one thing that I want to change this year? What's the one thing I want to do better this year? Because if we're in overwhelm, we tend to go into stagnation and we tend to say, screw it, and that's it, nothing happens. I do that. I get a serious case of, I use another word sometimes, but screw it. Serious case of the screw it. And then nothing gets done and nothing gets changed. And what good is that to myself or anyone around me? Because if I'm not doing for myself what I know is going to make a difference in my life, I'm affecting everybody else. Energetically, we are all connected to one another. So if I'm standing next to a sour apple and I feel that sour apple, I'm either going to become a sour apple or I'm going to move and find somebody else who's got a different attitude. So if I'm in a state of overwhelm and got a serious case of the screw it, I don't want to be putting that attitude on other people in my life. So I'm always taking my own personal inventory as to how I am showing up in my life. Am I being kind? Am I being courteous? Am I being considerate? Am I playing full out? Am I showing up to the best of my ability? And for those of you who are not showing up to the best of your ability, I'm calling you out. And this is the time for you to be accountable to yourself. And if you don't have an accountability partner, I'm going to encourage you to get one. This is a better way. It's a better way to up that number from only 8% of people who achieve their goals that they set at the beginning of the year. It can exponentially change that number if you have an accountability partner. So I encourage you, if you have a question, if you have a comment, press *9 on your phone, or if you're in front of me and I can see you, either raise your hand physically or press the raise hand button on the bottom of your screen, and I'll include you in the conversation, because otherwise I'll just talk. Hi, Barbara. Let me open up your line. There you are. Hey, how are you? How are things on the West Coast today?
A little chilly. Just a little chilly.
Okay.
This is a great way to start the new year, Teresa. Thank you so much. I want to talk about resolutions. I think the word resolution is a dirty word.
I agree.
Resolutions are just wishes.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know that wishes, they sometimes come true, but we always are wishing for things and we don't take action. So I like goals or objectives. I think that's a great word. But the one thing I want to talk about for goals too, and this gets people going, is there's two types of goals. There's short-term goals, things that you can accomplish right now because you have everything in your skill set to do that. But then there's also the reach goals, and those are the ones you got to ladder up to. So I look at the ladder steps. Those are the steps that you got to take to get to that goal that you don't have the immediate ability in your to achieve today. And people, if they understand the difference in those two goals, they don't get discouraged. They don't stop. So that's a real important aspect of understanding when you set the goals. And my goal this year, of course, is to write a book. I am very passionate about our soul power and understanding who we are at soul level and what those gifts are that we bring. And a lot of people know they have stuff, but they don't know how to look at it. So that's the focus of my book this year, and that's going to get written. I've been in a couple anthologies, and I love it, but it's time for me to have my own book this year.
Yeah. Awesome. I'm excited for that. And for those of you who don't know, I have a publishing company, Authentic Endeavors. And I also have been in I probably a dozen anthologies, and that's one of the lists, one of the things that I put on my list to finish that book. Besides Get Healthy, that's the other thing that I am committed to finishing before the year is out. So we can be accountability partners to one another, Barbara, in that area. And I'm happy to help you in any way possible.
That's my other goal too, Teresa, is to really get strong and fit this year. So we can be double accountability partners.
Sounds good. Yep. I'm all in. Both feet, all in, definitely. So who else has an idea for a book? Can you raise your hand? Who else has an idea for a book that they've been tossing around in their head? Or who has never authored anything and would like the opportunity to be one of many in an anthology type book or a devotional type book, like the book that's coming out. I'm going to release this around Thanksgiving of this coming year, 2017. It's called A Daily Gift of Gratitude, and I've been talking about it sporadically. And if you have something, something happened in your life that maybe wasn't the best, but in the end, you end up being grateful for it because it brought you to where you needed to be, or enlightened you in an area that needed to be, a door that had to be open. If you want to have that conversation, you can just email me at Teresa@teresavelardi.com, and Teresa doesn't have an H. So I'll put that in the chat box. So if Barbara has been in an anthology book, actually more than one, with me I know of. So there's that opportunity. Start small. If you're an author, if your dream is to be an author of your own book, like Barbara's is, she started small. She went and she did a couple of stories in anthology books, and this is the way. That was a short-term goal, right, Barbara?
Yeah, Teresa, I want to talk about the word greatness, where you brought that up. A lot of people are afraid to be great, and we are all gifted with great personal. Those are the things that we need to move into, and we need to claim that greatness. And some of us are talkers, some of us are writers, other people have other things in their soul power pack, that I call it, that they need to get into that greatness and claim it. And a lot of people are just afraid. We've always been, taught to chill down those things so that we don't look boastful, or we don't, look like we're a bragger or whatever. But when you look at and honor who you are at soul level, you're not bragging. You are that. Mm-hmm. You are that. And so you need to step into that. And so when you talk about greatness, that might give a chill to some people. And that's what they need to look at, because you're right. If those who are the writers and the speakers and people who know truth and all of these things that the soul power has, you have to step into that greatness and not be afraid of it.
Right. Exactly.
So Teresa, that's one of the reasons why I think I did the anthology, because I sort of dipped my toe in and thought, am I really that writer that I want to be and think I can be? And I'll tell you, the power of looking at your story in print, it validates the greatness. And you just, it's almost like it transforms you. That transforms you to know that that is you.
Yes.
That you really step into that.
Totally agree. Totally agree. And you're absolutely right. The word great does sometimes tweak people the wrong way, because it's something that, well, what makes me so great? So now I have to bring my good friend Marianne Williamson into the conversation, because here's the thing: our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. So to stepping in this, speak directly to this conversation. It is your light, it is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be? Brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous. Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightening about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It is not just in some of us, it is in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. And I think what you just said, Barbara, is a perfect example of that.
Yes. Everyone on this call this morning is a light that absolutely can light the lights of others. And we need that now. We feel that this is dark. We see dark energy. And I don't mean in a negative sort of way, but well, yeah, there's a lot of negativity and we've been through a lot. But it's really the responsibility of each person to check out their light, shine it bright. Bring that light, that wisdom, the love, the cooperation, the community, whatever your specialty is, whatever your soul specialty is, light that light, let it shine bright, let it light the light of others. That's really what we are here to do. And everyone on this call today has a light.
Absolutely.
Or two, that they really need to bring out and shine in the world. Yes.
Yes, indeed. Thanks, Barbara. Thanks for that reminder. Appreciate you. Anybody else want to add to the conversation? All right, whose light's going to turn on right now? And press *9 on your phone, or press the button on your oh, here we go. Catherine, I am going to open your line for you. Hi, Catherine. Welcome.
Well, this is the first time I really listened to this talk show. Well, not a show, but this encouragement from other women is really giving me hope.
Good.
Because I know there's a lot of things that I need to change, but if you look at the acronym itself, it's telling us there's a lot of things that we need to change.
Yeah.
And self-care is at the top of my list, because I've been a caregiver for everybody but me.
Yeah.
So I need to take a look at myself and be honest with the things that I want to do to fulfill some of the greatness that I have within me. So me joy, and it's given me something to look forward to, because I also work with school-age kids. I'm not happy with this job, but I'm 62 years old, and I thought I could give back to the community to help make the community better. But in order to make the community better, you yourself have to be the better instrument. So I'm seeing now that our vision is to make better children, better people, better community.
Mm-hmm.
It starts with self.
Yeah.
And working with so many, we overwork people. I mean, we just stressed out on our job.
Do you enjoy the work that you do, Catherine?
I question myself about that, but this morning I had an experience where I had a difficult last week. It was many different kids coming in, and every day was a new personality that was coming in. So any I had made, it was just erased the next day with another person who wanted to be the center of attention.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to make some phone calls to parents. And of course, whenever kids get in trouble, they always make it seem like you are the bad guy. So Mom brought her to me this morning, and she said that if she told me that if she didn't stop the behavior that she was doing, she would get suspended. And make a long conversation short, she said I didn't like her, and that was not true. Mm-hmm. What I don't like is the behavior that you perform, and I had to do something. I had to say no, and I could not let her participate in a special privilege that we all was going to do. Mm-hmm. See, I think what these kids are experiencing is a lack of trust, because our facility has gone through so many staff changes in the 6 months that I'm there, and that's why I'm really asking myself, why am I still here? Mm-hmm. You know, what is God placing me here for? Because it's a faith-based community, mm-hmm. and I'm the only one that has or displaying. They even talk about God. They don't even want to talk about God anymore. And you don't have to talk about God. You just have to be that light that the world needs to see. Right, exactly. So I don't have to, I could shrink down and still have God all over me because I am a spiritual person.
Yes.
But I do know that if things don't get better in the next 30 days, I'm moving on. But this here one thing challenge that you're giving us is something that I can give them. And I think it's even with children, they can understand this language.
Yes.
We can find one thing that we can do to make us better, because what you do here is also a reflection of what you do out in the community. Exactly. So I really appreciate you sharing this today, and I'm having the time to really look at my email. That's how busy I've been for months. I don't even look at my phone, but my husband's gone, and I saw the pop up. I said, well, let me pop in this because I do have the time today. And this is really enlightening and encouraging, and I'm happy to hopefully be a part of this accountability group from now on.
Good for you.
I need it.
You. So good to have you here, Catherine. So the question is, and I'm going to ask you this question, and this question is actually for everybody. If you were in a situation, as Catherine is, where you're really not happy with what you're doing, what is the thing? What is the one thing you'd rather be doing other than what it is that you're doing? For example, I used to be an insurance agent. Yes, I was an insurance agent. It was very dry. It wasn't my thing. It wasn't my thing. It made me good money. It helped me to build some skills, people skills, talking to people. And I learned a great deal from the experience of being an insurance agent. For many years, I was an insurance agent. But I knew that I had gifts and talents in other areas that I was not honoring because of the fact that I had to pay the bills. So here's the question. If you could do anything and money wasn't an issue, what would it be? What would that be? If you did anything, what would that be? And I want you to write it down. You don't necessarily have to speak it. I want you to write it down. Because if that's what makes you smile and lights you up, as Barbara says, we all have a light, and I agree with her 100%. If that's what lights you up, then that maybe is the one thing that you would want to be working toward this 2017. And I'm a very spiritual person. I'm not a numerology person, but here's what I know. 2016 was the number 9, it was a year of completion. 9 is the number of completion. Mm-hmm. And 2017 is a number 1 year. It's new beginnings.
That's right. That's right.
What is your new beginning? And Barbara, I'm going to open your line because I know you have something to say about this. So I would encourage you to, like, whatever it was in 2016, do your best to close the door on that and consider it complete. Take what little bit you need from your experiences there in order to be able to begin anew in 2017. Barbara, what do you got?
Well, the one thing I want to say is the end part of your one thing is nourish. Kathleen, you have to nourish yourself, and you have to have other people nourish you. because you give, but they also need to give back to you.
Yeah.
So make sure you learn to nourish. And when we do the things that is in our heart and our soul, we are really nourishing ourselves. And that's something that a lot of us don't do or haven't learned to do. Of course, it's one of those things like put everybody else first, but not you. And you spoke to that, Teresa, today.
I did.
So you really got to look at the end part of the equation and learn to nourish, because out of that comes a lot of truth. And we will really be able to stand in that truth and do the things that set us free, that make our heart happy. There is no reason to work and do work you don't love. And I was a lawyer for almost 30 years before I started to do the work that I do now. And I spent so much time doing what I was supposed to do, being the girl that I was supposed to be. And I never honored who I really was.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not saying that I am unhappy about that. All I'm saying is once I really started to listen to the truth and really honor who I was and nourish those qualities, my life changed.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. And I'm happy to say that I was there for I've known Barbara for several years now, and I remember when she was stepping out of that role, and I have to tell you, the Barbara that I see before me is physically different. The facial expressions is physically different than the Barbara who was the attorney. So it changes you from the inside out. Transformation is an inside out job. So check in with yourself, check in with who you are and what it is that you need in order to be able to, as Barbara just said, nourish yourself, body, mind, and soul. So if you, again, I'm going to ask a question and write it down. And if anybody wants to raise their hand and talk about this, if there is something, if you're in a job that is not fulfilling you, bringing you joy, write down what it is that you would rather be doing and make that part of your 2017. Catherine, thank you for stepping up and speaking out today. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else? Press *9 on your phone, or raise your hand, or press raise hand on your computer. Judy, I see you there. Hi.
Hi.
It's so good to have you in the video. Judy often joins the calls via phone. So for those of you who are on the phone, I know some of you don't have any option but to be on the phone, but when you have the opportunity, show us your beautiful face, because there is a difference in what happens in the experience. So I just encourage you to do that. Judy, what's up? Good to have you here.
Hi. Well, I finally get to see what Barbara looks like, because you talk about her all the time. Hi, Barb. Anyways, I love what you're talking about to start the new year. My biggest one on the list was to educate and meditate, because I'm not technically savvy and it upsets me. So when I don't know how to do something, I don't do it at all. So I'm finding myself this morning just pushing the right buttons, and I got on, which is like, I feel like I'm shining because I'm excited, but I had anxiety trying to figure it out. So my idea is to just be less stressful, do more meditation to take care of me, and not be afraid of this technical world that suffocates me.
Mm-hmm.
It's really hard for me because my job and a lot of stuff that I have to do is technical. And in my era, I never even learned this stuff. So when you have a cell phone you don't know how to use, or a scanner, it brings a lot of anxiety, and I get really upset. So I've been working on that, and I'm realizing that I have to spend more time not sitting in front of the television, not wasting my time on just nothing, just sitting there, that I have to spend that time getting back into my gratitude list, doing more readings, following through on my Bible studies. But I love giving back. When I went to Africa, the women and the children is what I got off that bus, and I just shined, and I was so happy, and I couldn't believe what was coming out of me. So this year I'm signing up with Macaulay Center to start helping the women and children here, and it's rewarding to me by helping them. Mm-hmm. Because my life experience good and bad, has brought me where I am today. And I'm going to take that from last year and use it, not as negative or stay out of that bad chatter to say, oh, I used to use drugs. I used to not be a good person. I used to not be honest. I need to be honest with myself that I have so many goals this year. One of them is to eat healthier, to quiet my soul and not be obnoxious and stressed out over nothing. Put a lot of pressure on myself to be the best. And I have to realize I am the best. I just have areas that I need to work on.
Yeah.
So.
And we all have those areas. And thank you for sharing so openly with everybody here. And, you know, I've been a part, Judy and I are like sisters. And we have been on this journey together for many years now. And when I look at the Judy that you are today in comparison to who you were when I first met you, all of the things that we talked about in the Marianne Williamson thing about shining your light and giving other people permission to do the same. Well, you've got your light shining, girl. You've got your light shining, and you are a different person than you were then. And yes, it's been a struggle somewhere along the line. There's, you know, something we have a choice. I believe that we have to learn lessons, and while we're here, we have an assignment. And we have to learn the lessons that are involved in this assignment that we're supposed to do. And maybe we don't even know what it is until our time on this earth is over. And, but the bottom line is that we have a choice whether we want to learn those lessons through joy or through pain. And today, I'd much rather learn them through joy. So, you know, for those of us who are looking to be better to ourselves, our bodies, physically. So what is going to bring me joy today? In the short run, it may be ice cream, but in the long run, it may be something that is more nourishing to my body, is going to not take me into a place of absent-mindedness or cloudiness. Or I want to be clear. I want to have clarity around what it is that I'm choosing to do. So, you know, yeah, Judy, go ahead.
I have one question. What I have to do is learn to be more present in the moment.
Yes.
So I got on this call because I want to focus on you and the call and not have anything else go around.
Yeah.
This morning I focused on my mom, who was very sick, and went to her house. And it was very odd for me because she's the one took care of us, and now I'm helping her. And I'm very uncomfortable because I don't know how to do that with her. But I stayed focused and I got easier.
Yes.
When I'm at work, I need to focus at work and not worry about my daughter.
Right.
And then when I'm with my daughter, I have to let work go. So it's real important to me to learn that focus.
Yeah.
Stay where I am presently.
Yes.
So this is really good for me.
Yeah, that's key. I'm glad you said that, because all we have is this moment. And be in this moment, present with yourself, in as great of a spirit that you can be in. Be joyful. And you know what? That's contagious. Whatever you are, that's contagious. And here's the good thing. If you're in a space of positivity and joy, you're going to attract more of that to yourself. If you're in a place of negativity and whatever else goes along with that, anger, whatever, that's what you're going to attract toward yourself. So the law of attraction works. Both sides of the coin. So if you want to attract more joy, more abundance, more goodness to your life, be in a place of those particular emotions. Find things to be grateful for. Gratitude is the key that unlocks the door to prosperity and abundance in every single area of your life. Not just money, abundant relationships, an abundant spiritual life, abundant physically, to have all that you want and more than you need. You know, in this country, we have so much more. And Judy, you can testify to this, having gone to Africa and I know on a missions trip and seeing how people in Kenya live with next to nothing, and you know, not even next to nothing, with nothing. They have nothing, and we take all of this for granted. Find a place in your heart to be grateful for the little things. Start small. If you haven't decided to keep a gratitude journal this year, I am going to encourage you. Maybe at some point you'll accuse me of pushing you over the edge. But I encourage you to have a gratitude journal. Start simply. You know, if you can't find something to be grateful for, think about the air that you breathe, and that the breath, the process of you breathing is automatic and it keeps you alive. Be grateful for the fact that you have a roof over your head. Be grateful for the fact that you have this conversation each week. Whatever it is, start small and start building that gratitude muscle, because it is a muscle, and it will build as time goes on. Game, play the A to Z game like I do every once in a while. We just did a round of that whole thing. Yes, Barbara.
Judy, it's good to breathe. If you don't have a breathing practice, you know, when your mind starts going a million miles an hour and you're everywhere and you're off the hook, you just have to stop and breathe. And usually it's about a minute. Just breathe in, you know, for 6, you hold it for a couple, and you breathe out for 6. And if you do that for a minute, it will put you right back in the moment. That's just the easiest and best thing that you can do to get yourself refocused. And then I always feel funny. I always laugh afterwards, because I realize how, whatever outer space place I've been, you know, it puts me right back to where I need to be, and I feel really grateful for that. So it really helps to order it. So, you know, you're a doer, you want to accomplish things, and you know what, sometimes breathing, and it's so very grounding and important for you.
Right. Thank you.
And I'm so glad you said that, Barbara, because you know, we're going to go through life, and there's going to be a ton of emotions. And I have to say, I've heard this from more than one person, probably 3 or 4 people over the last 6 months, because you know, when you're ready for something to change, the information comes to you. There's a saying that says, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So what are you ready for? And if you're truly ready, be aware that someone will come into your life to teach you whatever it is that you need to know in order to be able to get where you want to go. But we talk about emotions. If you write down emotion, emotion, emotion. If you energy in motion. Emotions are energy in motion. We are all energy. And so an emotion is energy in motion. And sometimes what I've heard is that any emotion only lasts really for no more than 2 minutes. You can't. Well, you can make it through 2 minutes. An emotion is not going to kill you. It's 2 minutes. And Barbara saying what you just said about breathe into whatever it is that you're feeling. Breathe into it. Allow it that space to be able to be heard, to be able to be felt, to be able to be a part of who you are, because it is a part of who you are. So, and it will pass. This too shall pass. Remember that phrase, this too shall pass, when you're feeling like the walls are falling in on you. Remember, this too shall pass. So energy in motion, and breathe. Breathe through it. Maybe it's time to get that cup of tea and sit down and just do that. Just breathe. And do your best to let any of the chatter that meditation is fantastic. So if you can find a way to do that, I mean everybody, you can find a way to spend a few minutes in quiet time, that will be a great asset to you in all areas of your life. Thanks so much, ladies. This is awesome. Who else would like to be heard? Anybody want to own their one thing today? Is there one thing that you want to transform in 2017, in this year of new beginnings? No? All right, so I'm so grateful that each and every one of you is here. We are coming up to about 5 minutes before, and I just want to give you some information and ask your help with something. So for the last few weeks of 2016, I got a little overwhelmed and did not send out the replays. They are coming. The information has been sent to my assistant. They are coming out. But I also, for those of you who haven't already answered it, I also sent out a survey for you. I want to bring the best value to Transformational Tuesdays as I possibly can. And you, as my audience, I would love for you to have a say in that. So if you are on my email list, You will be if you haven't already gotten one. The first wave went out. Everybody would have gotten the link to the survey. If you could please take a few minutes and fill out that survey, give me your opinion, any comments, any questions, anything that you want to address. There is a space on that survey for that as well. I would love for you to send that back to me. I do need them back by the 13th. I will be sending out a second wave, another email to everyone. If you've already filled out the survey, thank you so very much. This is a reminder for those who haven't, and I would really, really appreciate your participation. So I think it's 15 or 17 questions, but they're quick. They are. It should take you, I figured it out, it should take you maybe 4 minutes to fill out the whole thing. I know a couple of you who are on here have already filled them out, so thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And yes, thank you so much for joining us. Somebody has to scoot off, so thank you for joining us. I appreciate that. And I hope that every time you come to this conversation, you'll be able to take something away from it that will be a transformational part of your day, a transformational part of your life, an inspiration in some way to you. So, and that's my goal, to bring as much value to this conversation as I possibly can. There are questions on there about a couple of different areas, many different areas that pertain to Transformational Tuesday. So when you get the survey, please fill out the survey and send it on back to us. And if you have a question or a comment that requires me to have a conversation with you, please be sure to include proper information so that I can reach back to you, because I got a couple back that said they were leaving information and they forgot to do so in the little box at the bottom at the end. So I really appreciate your participation ahead of time for those of you who haven't filled it out yet. And for those of you who already have, thank you so much. So we have a full month for you. We're going to have a conversation next week with Jane Cabrera. She's bringing some information that we can utilize and drawing boundaries in our lives. Then after that, on the 17th, for those of you who need some advice on how to handle yourself with your tax situation, Nellie Williams is joining us. She's going to give us some tips, some practical tips to be able to close out 2016 and find ways to keep records and do things that are necessary in order for us to be able to easily get through that part of our lives. Not our favorite, but Nellie's great. She's got a lot of experience, and she can give us some tips on how to use that, use tools to the best of our ability. Then we're going to do a book launch with Patricia Gianakis and Great Credit Now. Barbara, you have a story in that book as well. Yes. So we're gonna be launching that book on the 24th, and then Doreen Parker is going to join us. She's my assistant, and she is a social media guru, and she's going to bring us some tools, some practical tools for us to grow our presence on the internet and to basically have a better experience there and in your business. So that's the month of January, and I'm really looking forward to bringing these guests. If you or someone you know wants to be a guest on Transformational Tuesdays, on the survey there is space for that. Please add it to the survey, or you can email me at teresavelardi.com. It's TeresaVelardi. So that's everything. Anybody have any last minute things that they want to say? Burning desire to share something? Raise your hand. No? Okay. Well, thank you everyone for joining me for another Transformational Tuesday, the first one in 2017. I'm so grateful for each and every one of you coming to the conversation each week. You are important to me. You are a blessing. And as I like to say before we close, until next time, enjoy what I call traveling the transformational trails of life. See you next week. Thanks, everybody.